Welcome to the Therapy Show podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Mustard. In each episode, I interview a seasoned and knowledgeable talk therapist from the counseling world to glean valuable insights, techniques, and tools that you can apply to your practice and your life. And if you're considering a career in the counseling field or just want to hear about what it's like to be a talk therapist, then this is the podcast for you. I want to ask you a question. Would you like to explode your brand on social media? If so, let me tell you what has truly worked the best for me. It's Facebook Live, and it has been the game changer. However, when I first started, I was pretty horrible. Yet I wanted to grow my personal brand, so I kept at it. I began to create better content. I began to share more value. And when we have better content, we have better engagement. And when we have better engagement, we have our ideal customers reaching out and asking to work with us. Your potential clients are crawling all over social media looking for information to help solve their problems. Why not let them find you easier? And Facebook Live can do that for you. It's the fastest way to grow the know, like, and trust factors. And on today's solo episode, I share my best tips and advice for you to get started. So when I think back to what has truly been the number one best use of my time and energy when it comes to growing my audience and growing my social media presence, hands down, the number one thing that I did was learn how to do Facebook Live about 3 years ago. And how do I know it was 3 years ago? It's because Facebook does that memories for you. It tells you what happened 3 years ago on this day. And my very first Facebook Live was 3 years ago. And it was horrible. It was horrible. Yet at the same time, I was hearing from all of these different social media folks that to truly grow your visibility and to truly grow your personal brand, you had to use the technology that the social media platforms were now giving us. And so one of the things that was really, really coming out strong was Facebook Live. And so when I jump now, Facebook Live's been around longer than 3 years, probably like 3.5 years, I suppose. But what I've learned over the past 3 years, I've grown leaps and bounds. At least I would say I have. I mean, some of people who've watched me may not agree, but I'm just going to really share with you guys what has worked best for me when it came to getting myself out there and getting started and getting going. Because I talk to a lot of people and they hear me say, go live, go live, go live, but something holds them back. And I think a lot of what holds people back is fear, just fear of putting themselves out there. They're fearful of being judged. They're fearful nobody's going to watch. They're fearful they're going to look and sound silly. But I want to assure you that we all start somewhere. We all have to be a beginner no matter what. If we're going to start something new, we're going to be a beginner first. So I want to encourage you just to start. I just want to encourage you to start to try it out. And I'm going to give you a couple pointers. I'm going to give you some things that have worked really well for me over the years. But the two things that have really shifted the game for me is creating valuable content and doing it consistently. I say it a lot. Consistency is queen, yet content is king. And I do. I say it all the time to myself to keep myself in the game, to keep myself motivated, because it really has come down to those two things. And for those of you who are curious about building a personal brand, or if this is the first time you've even heard this term, I want to encourage you to go download my free app. It's called Your Brand Builder. You can go to my website, lisamustard.com, and you can see the app there. You can click on it and download it. Go to iTunes, go to Google Play, Google Apps, and search for Your Brand Builder. It's spelled BUILDR. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. I don't even know. You have to create an account with an email and a password, but I don't get that information. That's just for you to be able to log on to the app. I designed, and it's a long story how this app came to be, but it was really fun to create. I entered a competition for an app pitch at the University of South Carolina. And I just had this idea and I was like, I haven't seen an app out there that helps people build their brand. So I'm going to create it. I'm just going to kind of brain dump everything that I've learned over the past 3 years and put it into an app. Now, I got to be honest and transparent with you guys. When I originally started to grow my social media presence, to grow my visibility, I'm going to tell you, I did it because of direct sales. Because I'm also in direct sales, and this is not a pitch for you to get into it or for you to, join me for whatever reason. I don't want you to think that. But what I want you to know is that the same things that work in direct sales and growing your brand are going to work for talk therapists as well, going to work for real estate agents, going to work for personal trainers. So that's how I got interested in learning how to grow a personal brand. So, all right, let's talk about Facebook Lives and how you can start doing them today and feel good about it in the process. First and foremost, when you think about creating content for Facebook Lives, I want you to think about your ideal client and your ideal customer. Who is that person? Get very clear on who they are and what they struggle with. And then I want you to then create content around those struggles. Show them how you can help solve their problems. You probably hear that a lot from other folks in personal branding and social media, but we can't get away from it. You have to get very clear on who you want to help and who you want to help, how you want to help them solve their problems. You're going to address their struggles, and you're also going to give value at the same time. You're not just going to get on there and talk about the struggle. You're going to give them a solution. You're going to give them some food for thought. You're going to give them a reason to come back to you. So give them value. Give them value. Give them value. Always come from a place of adding value, okay? You're also going to be real. You're going to be relatable, and you're going to be genuine. And I say that with gusto, you guys, because that is what will draw people to you. I can't tell you how many times I will go live about something in the therapy world or about my work or just something. I get a message. It happens still. I get messages. Are you taking new clients? Are you doing coaching? This episode of The Therapy Show is sponsored by my favorite fitness apparel, Zaya Active. I recently discovered Zaya Active when I went looking for high quality and premium workout clothes. Just like those luxury store and catalog brands, yet I wanted a budget-friendlier price tag. I love this brand because number one, I live a very active lifestyle. I hit the gym about 5 days a week, plus I love to go for runs and long walks, which I consider to be my very important self-care and podcast listening time. Plus, the endorphins I get from my workouts keep me in my happy mental space. The clothes stay put, I'm not constantly pulling on my leggings or tugging on my sports bras, and they accentuate me in all the right places. And number two, when I work from home, I love to be comfortable in leggings, also known as yoga pants, and a tank top. Plus, I can transition to running out the door to pick up our girls or run errands while still looking put together in my athleisure styles. My favorite workout leggings are the light and tights, and my favorite everyday wear are the everywhere pants. I literally wear them everywhere, every day. I can even wear them to business meetings or client consultations. I can dress them up or down easily. Want to learn more? Head over to lisamustard.com and click on the Activewear page. You can learn all about Zaya Active, the mission, the clothes, and see if they are a fit for you and your active life. From weight training to running to Zumba to yoga to CrossFit to bar to walking to tennis, Zaya Active has you covered. And don't forget about the active men in your life. They have an amazing men's line, plus clothes for active kids too. That's Zaya like papaya active. So see my site for all the details. So the more consistent you are in creating value, it starts to spread and you start to get known for it and people will start to reach out to you. It doesn't happen overnight. I don't want you to think it happens overnight, but it will happen if you are consistently creating that content and giving that value and showing that you're a real person and that you're relatable and genuine. I've been thinking a lot about this recently. Gone are the days of us therapists really hiding behind a wall and being accessible or inaccessible, whichever the word is, to people who aren't paying us. Does that make sense? So if we want to create community around what we do, if you want to help people, if you want to really show them what it is that we do, we have to show up. Sure, word of mouth referrals are great. Those are the best types of referrals, I think, when a patient or a client refers their friends or family to you. That's just great. But if you're just brand new and you're just starting out and you don't have that going for you, well, then you got to start showing up on social media. I think networking as well is just as important. I'm not saying don't do those things, but I'm saying you got to think outside of the box and get creative with how you market yourself. And social media, it can be a free resource. You don't have to pay for ads. You just have to create good content that people want to share. And the next thing you know, you're growing an audience. Okay. when you think about the ways that you can go live and the information that you can share, think about the 3 E's. And I learned this from my social media coach, Brian Fryer, and he pretty much coaches folks in direct sales, network marketing, but his principles apply to the masses. So when he talks about going live, and he's the one that really honed it into me that I needed to be going live, he talks about the 3 E's: educate, empower, and entertain. Okay. So think about those 3 E's every time you're creating content. Every time I go live, I'm thinking, okay, which of the 3 E's am I knocking on here? Which of the 3 E's am I going to present? Educate, you can talk about all kinds of stuff. I mean, most of the people have no idea what therapy is. Just educate them on what is therapy, educate them on what is counseling, educate them on what an illness is, or educate them on what is family therapy, educate them on what does a social worker do. Just educate. There's, I mean, endless possibilities and ideas there. The second one is empower. Maybe give a motivational type of Facebook Live. What is it that really lights you up? What are you really, really excited about? What are your values? What are your beliefs? Empower people. It doesn't have to be the same thing that I do or your neighbor next door who's a clinician. It can be what really makes you unique and stands out as a clinician too. And then entertain. Like, what if you just did a live at Starbucks? Maybe you just went through the Starbucks drive-through because you needed to get out of the office for a pick-me-up and you just got one of their pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, talk about it. Show people what you're into. Show people what you do for fun. Show people what you do for self-care. Now, of course, have your boundaries, definitely have boundaries, but show people, entertain them. Sometimes what I like to do is we'll be out the farmer's market here in town and I'll do little boomerangs of the stuff that we pick up. Or I've done a live at the farmer's market when they had a band playing. Just fun. Show people what it is that you're into, that is a part of what makes you unique and a neat person. Show them your world, okay? Sometimes I do stuff at the gyms, boomerangs. I mean, I do all kinds of stuff because that's a part of who I am. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is when you go live, after you go live on your phone, after you're done, I want you to save it to your phone. Save it to your phone, and then you can repurpose it over on IGTV. See, there you go. You can then take the Facebook Live that you just did and put it over on IGTV. Some of you guys might have the limit where you can only go 10 minutes on IGTV. That's cool. You can get one of the free editing apps on your phone, YouTube, how to use it, and trim it a little bit. But just get it out there. Get it over on IGTV as well. I think it's important to be over there as well. If your clients are over there, then that's where you want to be. Okay, if your clients are mainly on Instagram, you're the population that you're really good at working with, then go over to IGTV and start doing lives in your stories. Start doing IGTV stories. Just start showing up with live video. You're going to then repurpose that content. So if you think about maybe you do a live and whatever topic you talk about, you can then have spin-offs from that content, right? You can then take it and make them into posts. You can take them and make them into whatever it is that would make sense that you would want to repurpose that content for. I hope that makes sense. So for example, whenever I have a podcast episode release, I make a post. I work really hard to do a live at some point, maybe 2 days after, 3 days after the release of that episode. And then from there, I'll make another post, Sunday or Monday of the next week, where I'm taking something that comes to mind when I think about that episode and what we talked about. So I'm repurposing a bunch of content throughout the week around that episode. Okay. All right. So the next thing you're going to do is, I know you're scared. I know you're scared because I was scared to death. But here's a really cool trick you can do to get over your fear. So when you are setting up your phone to go live on Facebook, there is the privacy setting. You can select privacy only me. Okay. So instead of friends or public, you're going to drop down to the only me setting, and then you're going to hit the live video. And so you can get used to seeing what happens when you go live. You're not going to be like this deer in the headlights. So when you're able to practice and get a feel for it, you won't be so freaked out when the 3, 2, 1 or whatever it is, starts to go. You'll be a little more calm. You'll be a little more put together. You can practice going live and just seeing how it all works. And then when you're done, you can delete it. You can just delete it. So you can do that as many times as you want. Now, I want to caution you, you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. That's probably the scariest part of all of it, is you're going to talk yourself out of it so many times. But I want to encourage you to just, like Nike says, just do it and get over yourself and do it, because you have so much goodness in you. People need to know. People need to hear your voice. People need to hear what you have to offer. People need to hear how you can help them, okay? So many of your potential and future clients are on social media looking for help and looking for answers. Why not let them find you easier? Go live, show up, do the video, do the scary thing. But if you don't, they're going to find somebody that is doing that, as I think is what it comes down to. They're not, I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, I wish I could do it for you, because I see so much positivity and so much growth come out of people when they start going live and when they start sharing of themselves and giving value. And I also, I want to encourage you guys to mix it up. You don't always need to be doing clinical stuff. Educate, empower, entertain. Find the different niches that you enjoy. Find the different, experiences that you've had and share those as well. Now, I wouldn't suggest sharing something that maybe you haven't, possibly worked through. Like, if you're going through some marriage issues, maybe not share that. I wouldn't share that just as a human being. Like, that's just me. I'm a pretty private person, believe it or not. So when I share something that's personal, I usually am going to share it from the perspective that I have worked through it and I'm on the other side. So I'm going to kind of give value on what worked for me. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but like I said, people are out there looking for information, and they're looking for information on social media. They're looking for information on YouTube. Why not let them find you and you be the person that gives that value and that they start to know, like, and trust. And the next thing you know, they are reaching out to you and they are scheduling a consult. Okay, you guys, I hope you found this to be helpful. It's kind of funny. I'm talking about Facebook Live on a podcast episode. So you better believe it that when this one drops, I will be coming on Facebook and talking about this in a live in the near future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know. Head over to lisamustard.com. Be sure to explore my website. I have some CEUs that are up there now. Feel free to connect with me on social media. I love to hear from you guys and would love to know what else I can help you with. So you guys have a great day and take care. Well, that wraps up another episode of The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard. I know there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and I'm thankful you've chosen to listen to mine. Be sure to visit lisamustard.com to access the show notes and discover more fantastic content. And I'd be grateful if you subscribe to the show. Thank you.